I rarely know what I'm going to talk about when I open my mouth here. And I'm always concerned that it's going to be something I said 400 times before, and it may be. But something popped in. It was very specific, very directed, and I will share it with you. The word for the moment, and this is seemingly important, is reset. How that applies to each one of us is going to be separate and distinctive. It may be a reset that just has to do with your moment to moment mood, sense of well being or not well being, decisions of what to do in the next moment or not. This idea of reset means that you find a way to look at everything from a new perspective. It doesn't take a huge shift to do that. You don't have to stop for a day and go, oh my God, I got to reposition myself and do all this stuff. It just means reset. The last minute is gone. The new minute, the present moment is here. Set yourself up and be ready for that. One of the key elements of a reset is that past mechanisms may not work. Things that you've been doing for the last weeks, months, years, or decades may no longer serve you. It's like when your computer is not working properly. You probably know, and you've been told this by whoever teaches you these things, reboot. Just turn it off, turn it back on. Half the time, when you do that, maybe more, corrections have been made. Things are flowing, they're working. We need to do that internally. We need to reset. And I'm going to talk about it as a personal thing, but also as you probably may be picking up from the larger cosmology of our existence, the universe appears to be in a reset. Something is happening that we have not seen or witnessed before in our lives, ever. Not that it hasn't happened in past millennia, not that it isn't part of what will happen in the future. But whatever it is that we know to be this way, this truth, this is how it's always been, this is how it should be, this is the way I want it to be, reset. Not the way you thought it would go, not the way you thought it should be. You can't sit back and get depressed or get angry or hostile or go, now what? Or how do I handle all of this? That kind of mental cognition, the kind of emotional drama that comes up is not probably going to serve you in this moment. You need to reset. What does that mean individually? You're going to have to figure that out. I can't really tell you what a reset means for you, but it will be something like the computer working again. You will look at life through a different lens. You will feel it differently. It doesn't mean you won't have to do it repeatedly, because that's been my experience. I look at the headlines of the news, which is enough, and I go, all this stuff starts to play out inside me. And then I go, reset. There is, at this moment in time in our universe, very little we can do. And if you are at all curious about that, watch editorialists and news people and friends around you all wondering, what do we do? What's the next action? How do we move forward in a world that is absolutely altering completely before our eyes? What do you do? Maybe you don't do anything. Maybe doing is the wrong answer, or maybe the simple answer is reset. What's the best way to reset? Well, Rudy would say, take a breath. Go inside. He would say, go into your heart center, go into your navel center. Although those of you who've taken this class know what I mean by that. Those of you who are listening to this talk who've never had any exposure to my teacher Rudy or to the basic Hindu Buddhist structures of chakra systems and places inside you to work with may not know what I'm talking about, but you all know what I mean when I say the mind, the heart, the ego, the gut. Those are pretty simple. You need, and by need is like me telling you that you need. You can tell yourself that you need and not listen to me, but you need to go to the reset spaces of your psyche. And each one may be different at any given moment in time. For example, if you are suddenly wildly depressed and upset about the world, or upset about you, where do you go? Is it an emotional thing in your heart? Is it a mental thing in your brain? Is it an ego thing, feeling very threatened by the world? Is it something in your gut that says this doesn't feel right? Or is it all of the above or not? Any one of these spaces that exist inside you, and am talking about this pretty much week by week, can get confused and shut down or manipulated by outside forces. You have a control button that can go in and reset or reboot. You can go inside and go, shut up, be quiet, sit down. It could be a meditation, which is, I think, one of the best versions of how you reset. You go into a truly quiet space where the implications of the noise of the world are not active. They go away when you go into a meditation. They go into the far distance of your brain and mind and emotions, and you are in a place inside that tends to be relatively quiet. When you go into that place, it may be that some of those outer forces are still knocking on the door and sort of causing you some grief and struggle. You have to go deeper. You have to ask for help in yourself to go deeper. What's offering you that help? Well, that's a whole other discussion, but I will tell you there is something vast and universal inside each one of us that is there to help. It's an odd kind of help. What happens when you turn off your computer? What happens? Nothing really, but the programming that's been kind of problematic just falls away. It's not supported by the craziness of the computer. You turn it off, you turn it back on, and wow, suddenly that problem's not there anymore. Don't ask me how. I don't know. But I know when I go into myself, into my heart, or into my mind center, or into my ego center, or into my gut, and I ask for help, and I ask for help to surrender is my word, but right now I'm going to use reset. In the quietude of that inner space, something happens. It just goes, okay, oh, okay. And for a period of time, time is an interesting concept, but for a period of time, I re enter the craziness of the world around me, the insubstantial kind of collapse of norms that we've never ever witnessed before. I watch it all and I go, okay. I do not understand personally comprehension. I do not have a brain that can figure out the why of it, the how of it. There are people who are trying to do that. All I know is that for the first time in my life, the world as I have known it is not the same at all. And it's changing dramatically, and it's going to continue to change dramatically and possibly for the rest of our time around here. What you may have to do to deal with that is learn to live in it, find a way to accept it, or on a day-to-day basis, go inside and reset. Reset means find a way to breathe into the truth of what is. You may not like the truth of what is, and trust me, there will come a point in life where you really won't like the truth of what is, where you become biologically incapable of surviving this world. That's not fun. Where you become threatened by outside forces that are not, you cannot fight against them. That's not fun. What do? Well, you do what you are in the way instructed to do, or what you suggest in something inside you suggest you should do. But mostly the guidance for that comes out of a reset. And the reset happens when you are really, really quiet in the core of your being. And no matter what is going on around you or even inside you, you are okay. You are okay. And you begin to trust that this reset in you is happening globally, everywhere. And that's the sense I have right now, that this is a global reset of human experience, of the human being, of the human race. I can see it with my grandchildren. I see it with all these kids looking at their phones. I see it with social media. The world is not the world we knew. It is not the world we were programmed to enter and function in. It's a new world. How will it play out? Nobody knows. Nobody. If it were guided well by people with real intelligence and real insight and real compassion and empathy and kindness and all those forces, which would be wonderful if that's what was happening right now, we would all be breathing differently. This word reset might not come into play, but it's not happening that way. The guidance on the outside is not, from all appearances, well guided. In my terms, you may feel differently. But if that's the case, you have to look at the large picture, that something is going on here. Something huge is going on here. And we are all in it, of it, part of it, meant to be here. We're not here by chance. This is a very real part of the transitions that are happening in the human experience. Huge. This is huge. And you can be a loving, kind part of it. You can be something that helps in a way the others in our lives who are struggling get through. You can do it by holding hands, getting on the phone, going out for a cup of coffee, just sharing. Whatever you can do to be of help to others is going to be of help to you as well. But don't do it for that reason. Do it because others need you. And I do this talk every week. The light you have can light up other people's lives. You can, and it will if you let it do that. The reset that you do in yourself will help other people reset in themselves. And then we will all start to have a little bit of a expansion of the reset, and the world in the pockets that we live in might be more livable, sweeter, kinder, nicer, easier. Maybe, maybe. But right now, the one thing we have, in a sense, if you have a spiritual journey inside or a place to go that will start to affect transformative change within you, is this ability to reset the equation over and over and over so that you can function better in the world that we have all inherited and that needs us to help it as it goes forward. That's what we're doing. So I don't want to be, dramatic. Of course I am. But this is a time of engagement. This is not a time of passivity, but by engagement, I don't mean doing. And like, I don't think going out and protesting maybe is the right thing to do at this moment. Maybe it is. But if you go to your reset and it says go out and protest, well, then maybe that's the right word, the right thing. But go to the reset, go to the quiet button, go to the space inside and see what it says to do. Mostly it might tell you to chop wood and carry water, take care of business, do the thing that's in front of you, do the simple thing. That's probably what you will hear. It's what I hear over and over, take care of my wife, go shopping, fill the gas tank in the car, that. It's not like go out and, tell the world that it's misdirected. There's no one's going to listen. Who's going to listen to that? Who do I talk to? All you can do is do the thing that's in front of you with love and kindness and caring, and then reset. If you're starting to get depressed and angry and worried about everything and you can't function well in the world, you don't want that. You don't want that. Rudy used to give us an exercise, and I've talked about it a little bit, and it's the negative psychic tension release exercise. And I'll just throw it out at you as well, which is just dangling your hands beside your body, just dangling them, taking a breath in your heart. And then as you hold the breath a little bit in your heart, you ask inside for help, to surrender, And he said negative psychic tension. And you say the word negative, and you feel this thing, and it will come out of the top of your head and down your neck and your shoulders and your chest and your arms, and it will start to go into your hands, and then it will just drain into the atmosphere. That's a mechanism for resetting. Let it go. Shake it out. Boom, boom, boom. And it's gone for an hour or however long. You have to do it over and over, maybe. Nowadays, we are in a funny time. And yes, you may. But do you have to be a victim of what's going on? No, you do not. You don't have to work with a broken computer. Just reboot. You can do it. We all can do it. And that's what we're trying to do here. And the more you can work inside and go deeply inside, the more you will have access to the capacity to change who you are in relationship to what is around you. That would be very helpful. And then also to change who you are in relationship to your own emotionality, to your own mind stuff, to your own whatever, sadness, grief, depression, you name it. It's really something you need to be able to do now. And talking about doing, that's one thing you can do. The other part is being. You're already doing that. So keep being, do the reset, do the thing you need to do, make peace with the reality of life because it's a cosmic dimension at work. Those of you who are astrologers, you know what I'm talking about. People talking to me and they say, boy, oh boy, this is heavy. And I think every one of you knows that. You don't have to be an astrologer. You know it's heavy. So lighten up, reset, move forward, get through the day. If there's a call to very big duty along the way, call to arms or whatever it is that we get called to, you'll know when that happens. Don't be predictive and pro, don't do things before you're ready and before the universe is ready. When the time comes, you'll do what you need to do because this thing will tell you and you'll listen and you'll do the right thing. So good luck. We're all in this. This meditation is a help. It really is. It gets you to the quiet place. It helps you get, for the moment, for 20 minutes, half an hour, you get to the reset button if you want it, and you get to figure out how to go forward. When this class is over, you got to keep it on your own for a while, and then we'll get together again in a week and try to keep this going for anybody who wants it. But anyway, there are a lot of voices out there. Just go on YouTube. If you don't find this one helping you, find one that does. But I will tell you the best thing to do is reset. Okay. Any questions? Mm-hmm. That's what I figured.
I
Okay.
have a
Um,
question.
I love you all. Uh, if if you need me, you can write to me. We can arrange a phone call if you need to talk. you know. But I would say develop this muscle on your own, because many of us are on our own, really, and that's what you have to deal with. If I, if you think I can be of special help, I will try to be that. But mostly, the self inside that's guiding these talks, that's guiding the class, and guides you every day, is this thing that will take care of you, and it does take care of you, and it does love you, and it does help you do the right thing moment by moment to moment. So listen to it and do the reset. Okay. See you guys next week.